Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, in the last lecture, we have seen some examples of continuous function. So, at last, I have given one example in homework. So, let me recall what is continuous function. So, here, when we can say that f is continuous at x equal to a,
Yes, sir.
when we can say that f is
Uh,
continuous at x equal to a, what is the definition?
F is continuous at point A
A.
if and only if limit f tends to A, f of x is equal to f of a.
Yes. Limit x tends to a, fx equal to f of a. And we say that f is continuous at point A. So recall this. Recall that f is continuous at A if and only if limit x tends to A, fx equal to f of a. If and only for every epsilon greater than 0 and every some delta greater than 0, such that whenever x minus A greater than delta, we should return epsilon. This is the definition of continuous function. So this was the example that I have given in the homework. F is a mapping from R to R and fx equal to x raised to n. X belongs to R. Prove that f is continuous on R. So, see, f is a mapping from R to R and fx is defined as x raised to n. Okay, where x belongs to R. I want to show that f is continuous on R. So therefore I should show that f is continuous at every point of R. So let me take one point from set of real number R. What is my claim? F is continuous at A. That is, I should show that limit x tends to A, fx equal to f. So suppose I want to show that limit x tends to A, fx equal to fa. From where I should begin? By both.
Epsilon greater than 0.
Yes, so let's take epsilon greater than 0 be given. We want to find out delta greater than 0 such that whenever mod x minus n is met, delta implies fx minus fa is then epsilon. Okay, so that is what is fx? You can replace fx by x raised to n. Okay, and what is f of a? It will become a raised to n. So I want to find out delta so that it satisfies this condition. So now let's consider this quantity, this difference. x raised to n minus a raised to n. So now you can say that if you put x equal to a in this polynomial, then a raised to n minus a raised to n, that will become 0. So from this you can conclude that x equal to a is a root of this equation, or equivalently you can say that x minus a is a factor of this polynomial. So if I divide this polynomial by a, then I will get remainder as 0. Okay? Since a is a factor of polynomial, I can divide this polynomial by x minus a. So now here I will write down the coefficients of x, powers of x. So here first term is x raised to n. So what is the coefficient of x raised to n? Now see, here you can see that its coefficient is 1. So I will write here 1. Then x raised to n minus 1. Since there is no term containing x raised to n minus 1, you can say that its coefficient is 0. Similarly, there is no term of x raised to n minus 2. Therefore, coefficient of x raised to n minus 2 is 0, 0, and so on. The constant term is minus a raised to n. Okay. So here I should write first of all 0. Okay. Now I should add these two terms. So 1 plus 0, that is 1. Now multiply 1 with a. That term I should put here. So a into 1, that is a. So now addition of these two is a. Now multiply a with a. So you will get a square. This will become a square. Then a cube. So this becomes a cube. And so on. This term will become a raised to n with plus sign. And the previous one is plus a raised to n minus 1. So if you add this term, so the last term is a raised to n minus 1, and this becomes 0. Okay. So therefore, what is the factorization of x raised to n minus a raised to n? It is exactly equal to, in the first bracket, x minus a. In the second bracket, here this is the coefficient of x raised to n minus 1. So it is 1. Then term x raised to n minus 2. So x raised to n minus 2 has coefficient a. A into x raised to n minus 2. Then plus a square into x raised to n minus 3, and so on. This, I will continue this up to last term is a raised to n minus 1. So this is the factorization of this. Okay. So this is equal to let me write down here. X raised to n minus a raised to n. This is equal to x minus a into bracket x raised to n minus 1 plus a into x raised to n minus 2 plus a square into x raised to n minus 3, and so on. The last term will be a raised to n minus 1. Okay. Now this is further can be written in this way: x minus a. Now I know how to estimate x minus a. X minus a should less than delta. Okay. And this, let me write down in this way: x raised to n minus 1 plus a into x raised to n minus 2 a square into x raised to n minus 3. So last term is a raised to n minus 1. Now let me say this to be 1. Now take x minus a less than 1. Then we know that from triangle inequality, mod x minus mod a, this is less than or equal to modulus of x minus a, and this is less than 1, that we have assumed. So now let me put this together. So therefore mod of minus mod of a, this is less than 1. So this implies that, or therefore you can write this way also: mod a minus 1 less than mod x less than mod a plus 1. Now from this I can conclude that mod x is less than mod a plus 1 whenever x minus a is less than 1. So I have imposed one condition that I should take modulus of x minus a must be less than 1. Therefore, by 1, left side of 1 is nothing but x raised to n minus a raised to n. Now, this is equal to modulus of x minus a in the second bracket. This term is there, x raised to n minus 1 plus a into x raised to n minus 2 plus a square into x raised to n minus 3 and so on. Last term is x raised to n minus 1. I apply triangle inequality in the second term so that you will get modulus of x raised to n minus 1 plus mod a into modulus of x raised to n minus 2 plus mod a square into modulus of x raised to n minus 3 and the last term is modulus of a raised to n minus 1. Now this is further less than or equal to x minus a. Now see, modulus of x raised to n, modulus of x is less than mod a plus 1, so I can write this is less than or equal to mod a plus 1 raised to powers of x is n minus 1. So I will keep mod a as it is. This is nothing but modulus of a plus 1 raised to n minus 2. I will keep a square as it is. This is nothing but modulus of x raised to n minus 3, that is modulus of a plus 1 raised to n minus 3 and so on. Last term is nothing but modulus of a raised to n minus 1. Okay. Now this is further less than or equal to. I will keep modulus of x minus a as it is, and here you can write by 2. Okay. Now I will keep first term as it is, modulus of a plus 1 raised to n minus 1. Plus. Here I will add 1. Okay. So mod a is less than mod a plus 1. So I can write this is less than or equal to mod a plus 1. And this is mod a plus 1 raised to n minus 2. Again I will add here mod a plus 1 whole square. This is always here just one term. Here there are 3 terms, 2 mod a plus 1 and mod a plus 1 raised to n minus 3. The last term is mod a. Here I can replace mod a plus 1 raised to n minus. Do you understand? Vaibhav?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me here write down. The last term is raised to n minus. Okay. So this is equal to, I will keep mod a minus x minus a as it. This is mod a plus 1 raised to n minus 1. Now here mod a plus 1 into mod a plus 1 raised to n minus 2. So I will put this together. So here power 1 and here n minus 2. Therefore you will get mod a plus 1 raised to n minus 1. Again if you add these two, you will get last term is mod a plus 1 raised to n minus 1. So how many times this is first, this is second, this is n times. So that we will get this is equal to n into mod a plus 1 raised to n minus 1 into modulus of x minus a. Okay, but I want this less than epsilon. and x, whenever x minus a is less than delta, so this is nothing but mod a plus 1 raised to n minus 1. So this is the relation between epsilon and delta. So tell me, Abhay, what should I take delta?
Epsilon upon n into
This number, okay. From this,
1 એટલે બંનેનો મિનિમમ.
yes, we should take minimum of 1 and epsilon upon delta equal to epsilon n into 1 plus mod a raised to, I will take minimum of this two quantity, then delta greater than 0, because this is a positive quantity. Okay? Therefore, for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists some delta greater than 0, so that whenever x minus a less than delta implies x raised to n minus a raised to n less than epsilon. Or you can say that limit as x tends to a, x raised to n equal to a raised to n. Or you can say that x raised to n is continuous at x equal to a. Therefore, f is continuous at every point of R. Or you can say that f is continuous on R. So this was the example that I have given in the homework. Now, let me take this example. F from minus 3 to 2. So from this you can say that x square, x cube, x raised to 4 all are continuous, and in this way you can prove. Let's do this example. F is a function from open interval minus 3 to 2 to R be defined as fx is equal to x plus 2 minus x minus 2 and x plus 2. Here minus 3 less than x less than minus 2, minus 2 less than or equal to x less than 1, 1 less than or equal to x less than 2. Discuss the continuity of f. Okay. See, here if your x is, if this is the situation, your function is between minus 3 to, this is minus 2, this is minus 1, this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So if your x is between minus 3 to minus 2 in this interval, then fx is x plus 2 in this interval. Between minus 2 to 1, between minus 2 to minus 2 to 1, that is in this interval from here to here. Here Here fx is x plus 2. Here fx is minus x minus 2. And here fx is x plus 2. So if your x is between minus 3 and minus 2, then fx is polynomial. And every polynomial is continuous, since you can find out its derivative. And every differentiable function is continuous. Similarly, if you take x between minus 2 to 1, the fx is nothing but minus x minus 2. So again it is a polynomial. And every polynomial is continuous. Therefore this is continuous. Now, if your x is between 1 and 2, then fx is x plus 2. Again, it is a polynomial and continuous. Therefore, if in this interval minus 3 to 2, minus 2 to, now here I should include, no, minus 2 to 1 and 1 to 2. In this interval, fx is a polynomial. Fx is polynomial. And we know that every polynomial continues. Therefore, f is continuous in the domain, this domain, minus 3 to minus 2, minus 2 to 1, and 1 to. So we shall check. So we check the continuity at which point? Minus 2 and 1. X equal to minus 2, x equal to 1. Now let me check first of all at x equal to minus 2. So limit x tends to minus 2 plus fx. In order to discuss the continuity at x equal to minus 2, I should check left limit, right limit at x equal to minus 2 and value of function at x equal to minus 2. Now if I take x tends to minus 2 plus fx, so x is bigger than minus 2, since we are approaching minus 2 from right. Okay, so if I approach minus 2 from right, then your x is in this pink portion. X is from this pink portion. Okay, so pink portion is from minus 2 to 1. And from minus 2 to 1, fx has value minus x minus 2. So here I should write minus x minus 2. The reason is this: x tends to minus 2 plus implies x is greater than minus 2 and implies fx is equal to minus x. So if you put x equal to minus 2, so minus 2 and minus 2, what is the answer? 2 minus 2, that is 0. So now what is f of 2? Minus 2. F of minus 2, that is minus 2. Here minus 2 less than or equal to, so value is minus x minus 2. Minus of minus, again this is 0. So these two are same. Now I should go for left. limit x tends to minus 2 minus fx is equal to limit x tends to minus 2 minus. Now we are approaching minus 2 from left, so x is less than minus 2, so your x is in yellow portion. So in yellow portion fx is the definition x plus 2, this is the definition, so I should write here x plus 2. The reason is this: we are approaching x tends to minus 2 minus minus 2 minus. Okay. This implies that x is less than minus 2. This implies that definition of fx is x plus 2. So minus 2 plus 2 again. Therefore, limit x tends to minus 2 plus fx is equal to limit x tends to minus 2 minus fx is equal to f of minus 2. All are same and the same value is 0. So therefore, f is continuous at x equal to minus 2. Okay? So do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, which point we should check the continuity of f? Point 1. So at x equal to 1. What is f of 1? Let's find first of all f of 1. So 1 less than or equal to x less than 2. So f of 1 is given by x plus 2. So 1 plus 2, that is 3. Now let's find out its right limit. 1 plus fx. If x tends to 1 plus, then the definition x is greater than 1. Okay, x tends to 1 plus. Therefore, we are approaching 1 from right, so x comes in this blue portion. So the definition of function is x plus 2. So I should write x plus 2 inverse of fx. Now, the reason is this: x tends to 1 plus implies x is greater than 1, implies fx is given by x plus 2. So if you take x equal to 1 in this expression, you will get limit as 2 plus 1, that is 3. Now look at this, 3 and 3 are same. If these two are different, then directly you can say that f is discontinuous. Since these two are same, I should also find out left limit at x equal to 1. What is fx? X tends to 1 minus, so x is less than 1. Okay, so x is in this pink portion. We are approaching 1 from left. The definition of fx is minus x minus 2. The reason is this: x tends to 1 minus implies x less than 1. So if you take, so what is the answer? Minus 1. Therefore, you can say that f is discontinuous. Limit x tends to 1 plus fx is equal to 3, which is not equal to 1, equal to limit x tends to minus fx. Therefore, you can say that f is discontinuous at x equal to 1. So, do you understand the way?
Yes, sir.
So, therefore, f is continuous on r minus 1. Not r
Hello,
minus.
sir.
Actually, I should write uh, minus 3 to 1 minus 1. Clear?
હેલો સર.
Yes.
હા, લાસ્ટમાંથી જે ફોર્થ નંબરનું સ્ટેપ રહ્યું ને જે એમાં 1 માઇનસ થી કરીએ તો આપણે -1 લેવા પડે કે 1 લેવા પડે ત્યાં?
So, okay, yeah, 1. I should take 1, sorry. Not minus 1.
ઓકે સર.
So I should here I should take plus 1. You are right. Thank you. So this will become same or different. Let me check. I think this is -1 -2. So -3. Again, it is not same. They are not same. So f is discontinuous at x equal to 1. Now let me take this example. I will take a function from R to R. And the definition of f is this: fx is equal to x sine 1 upon x. When x is not equal to 0 and 1, if x equal to 0. We want to discuss the continuity of this function. So the function is from R to R. The definition is this: x sine 1 upon x, x not equal to 0, and 0, x equal to 0. So if your x is not equal to 0, then obviously function is continuous. If x is not equal to 0, if x belongs to r minus 0, then what is fx? Fx is x sine 1 by x. So now you can find out its derivative also. Therefore, which is continuous. Therefore, for every x belongs to r minus 0, f is continuous. Now we should check continuity at x equal to 0. Okay. So we shall prove this, that I think you should get the idea from this. What is the limit of this function at x equal to 0? See, you know this thing: 0, what is the range of sine function? -1 to 1. So sine mod sine x is equal to 1. Yeah, so if you take limit x tends to 0, so by according to Sandwich theorem, you can say that what is limit of x sine 1 upon x? This becomes 0 since this is 0. Clear? So we shall show that limit x tends to 0, x sine 1 upon x equal to 0. Okay, so now in order to prove this limit is 0, from where I should begin?
Epsilon.
Yes. Now consider this difference. We shall find out delta. We want to find out such that whenever x minus 0 less than delta implies x sine 1 upon x minus 0 less than epsilon. So in order to find out such delta, I should begin from x. So this is equal to mod x into mod sine 1 upon x. Now this is less than or equal to mod x into 1. The reason is this: for every x belongs to R, mod sine x is less than or equal to 1. So this is less than or equal to 1. So mod x, I want this less than delta, this less than epsilon, whenever mod x is less than delta. So this tells us that I must take epsilon equal to delta or delta equal to epsilon. So therefore, for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists delta equal to epsilon greater than 0, such that mod x less than delta implies x sine 1 upon x less than epsilon. Therefore, limit x tends to 0, x sine 1 upon x is equal to 0, which is not equal to 1 for f of 0. See, what's the definition of f of 0? F of 0 is 1. So you can say that f is discontinuous. At x equal to 0. See, here if you redefine function f at 0, if you take 0 in place of 1, then f becomes continuous. So I can remove this type of continuity by redefining the function. So therefore this discontinuity is known as removable discontinuity. Okay. If you redefine function f at x equal to 0, then you can remove the discontinuity and the function becomes continuous. So if you take f of 0 equal to 0, then it becomes continuous. So this is known as removable discontinuity. This is a topology sign problem. This is known as topology sign problem. In MSc, you will study this topic. So, in general, if you limit x tends to 0, x raised to k sine 1 upon x, this limit is 0 if your k greater than 0. So, how can you prove this limit is 0? Just take epsilon and just estimate x raised to k sine 1 upon x. here you will get x raised to k and sine 1 upon x. This is further relational to mod of x raised to k. So this becomes delta raised to k. So the relation between delta and epsilon is this, epsilon equal to delta raised to k. So delta is nothing but epsilon raised to 1 upon k. Clear? Have you got the idea of it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us discuss types of discontinuity. Okay. So this is a very important definitions. Types of discontinuities. Okay. So these are the cases that occurs if f is discontinuous. F is not continuous at a, then so these are the possible cases. This is type 1 and this is type 2. So in type 1, what happens? Both f of a plus and f of a minus exist. Both exist. Okay. So again, there are two possible cases can occur. F of a plus, if this exists, then there are two possibilities. Either they are same and they are different. If these two are same and f is discontinuous, what does this mean? This is not equal to f of a. Okay, and this is the second case, f of a plus not equal to f of a minus. Okay, so this is known as removable discontinuity. Removable discontinuity type 1, and this is known as jump discontinuity. Function jumps at point x equal to a, and in type 2, either of these do not exist, or in this case f of here both exist, or f of a minus or both does not exist. ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि one of them exists and one doesn't exist, and वो ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि none of this exist. So f of a plus means right limit, f of a minus means left limit at x equal to. So this is a type 2 continuity. So in type 1 there are two sub cases, removable discontinuity and jump discontinuity. टाइप 1 में क्या होता है, दोनों एग्जिस्ट होना चाहिए, एफ ऑफ ए प्लस एंड एफ ऑफ ए माइनस. एंड अगेन इफ दिस टू एग्जिस्ट, देन देयर आर two possibility. These two are same or these two are not same. If these two are same, then it must not equal to f of a. Otherwise, it becomes continuous. So in this case, this becomes removable discontinuity. And if this were different, then f has a jump discontinuity at x equal to a. Why this is known as removable discontinuity? If you redefine function f at x equal to a, you can remove the discontinuity. Okay, so that's why this name is suitable. So now let me write down the definition. So the first, let me take f from x to r be a function, and let us assume that f is not continuous at a. First define removable discontinuity. If f of a plus f of a minus both exist and f of a plus equal to f of a minus which is not equal to f of a, then f is said to have removable here. Now let me define jump discontinuity. If f of a plus and f of a both exist, and these two are not same, then f is said to have jump discontinuity at x equal to a. Third definition, type 1, continuity type 1. If f is has either removable discontinuity or jump discontinuity, and it has first kind discontinuity or type 1. So f is said to have discontinuity of the first kind. First kind at the point x equal to a, if either f has removable or jump discontinuity at x equal to. So now let's define second kind discontinuity of type 2 discontinuity. So if the discontinuity of f at the point A is not of the first kind. What is linearly dependent set? सर्वोत्तम. सर्वोत्तम. Deep. Abhay,
Yes, sir.
what is linearly dependent set?
Linearly dependent set. આપણે સેટના એલિમેન્ટનું લિનિયર કોમ્બિનેશન લઈએ તો તેના જે સહગુણક હોય તે બધા ઇક્વલ ટુ 0 મળે તે linearly dependent set કહેવાય.
But I am asking for linearly dependent set, not independent. The set is
Sir.
linearly dependent if it is not independent. Very simple. Do you understand what I mean to say? So the
Sir.
function has a discontinuity of second kind if it has not a discontinuity of first kind. This is very simple. If the discontinuity of f at the point is not of the first kind, then f is said to have discontinuity of the second kind. Okay, so this is the discontinuity of second kind if it has not a first kind. Now, many times this type of examples have been asked. They are asking, discuss the type of discontinuity for the following functions. Okay, so accordingly you need to give the answer. Now let me take an example. Before that example, see, look at this example. In this example, this limit exists, limit x tends to 0 fx. What does it, when this exists, when if both left and right limit exist, this they are same, so they are not equal to value of function at 0. Therefore this is has removable discontinuity. Which kind? First kind, right? Clear? Now let me take another example. Define as fx is equal to x plus 2, 0 and 2x if x less than 0, x equal to 2, and if x is greater than 2. Discuss continuity and type of discontinuity for f. If any, for f. this is the definition of function. So from this you can see that f is a polynomial if your x is less than 2. Any polynomial is continuous. So if your x is less than 2, f(x) is continuous. Similarly, if your x is greater than 2, then it is also continuous. It is a polynomial. So we need to check continuity of f at only one point, and that point is x equal to 2. Okay. Now, if you look at this example, then f is discontinuous. We have proved that f is discontinuous at 1. At point 1, f is discontinuous. Now, Abhay, I am asking you a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Tell me. Type of discontinuity of this function f at x equal to 1. It is removable. F is
Type
discontinuous.
1.
Type 1, it is okay, but removable. See here, limit x tends to a plus, that is 1 plus fx exists, and it has answer 3. And limit x tends to 1 minus fx exists, and it equal to minus 3. And 3 is not equal to minus 3. Left limit and right limit are different at point 1. So it is jump discontinuity, first kind. See, first type, if both exist. If they are different, then jump.
Jump type.
So here you can see that jump and type of first kind. Clear? Now look at this example. See, if I draw, this is 2. This is 2. Okay. So here and here definition is x plus 2. Here definition is 2x. Okay, so both are polynomials. So if x is less than 2, then fx is equal to x plus 2, which is continuous. If x is greater than 2, then fx is 2x, which is continuous. Therefore, we should only check continuity at x equal to 2. So now what is the value of f at 2? F of 2 is nothing but 0. Okay. Now let's find out left and right limit. Limit x tends to 2 plus fx is equal to limit x tends to 2 plus. Now your x is tends to 2 plus implies x is greater than 2, or we are approaching x from right. So fx has value. Tell me away, what is the value of fx if your x is greater than 2? 2x. So I should write here 2x. So your answer is 2 into 2, that is 4. Okay. Now limit x tends to 2 minus fx is equal to limit x tends to 2 minus. देखिए यहाँ पे एक चीज तो तय है कि you can definitely say that f is discontinuous at 2, क्योंकि f of 2 is not equal to f of 2 plus. ठीक है. तो अभी हमें ये चेक करना है कि ये कौन से टाइप की डिसकंटिन्यूटी है। देखिए ये दोनों सेम नहीं है, व्हाट डज इज रिमूवेबल तो नहीं है, ये तो केस निकल गया। तो यहाँ पे क्या बचा, जंप और सेकंड काइंड, दो पॉसिबिलिटी है, जंप फर्स्ट काइंड एंड अदरवाइज टाइप 2 और सेकंड काइंड। उसके लिए हमें राइट लिमिट लेफ्ट लिमिट फाइंड करनी होगी। अभी यहाँ पे देखिए x टेंड्स टू 2 माइनस implies x less than 2, ठीक है, implies what is fx, fx is nothing but x plus 2। तो यहाँ पे आपको क्या लिखना चाहिए, अगेन you will get 4, ठीक है। So therefore limit x tends to 2 plus fx is equal to limit x tends to 2 minus fx is equal to 4, both exist and both are same, which is not equal to f of 2 equal to 0। देखिए ये कैसे हमारे पास आएगा, ये सॉरी ये जंप तो नहीं होगा, ये वाला केस है। अभी तो क्योंकि मैंने एफ ऑफ ए माइनस इवेल्यूट ही नहीं किया था ना, तो देखिए ये दोनों सेम आ रहे हैं और विच इज नॉट इक्वल टू एफ ऑफ, तो ये कैसी डिसकंटिन्यूटी बताओ अभय।
रिमूवेबल।
यस, at x equal to 2 and a first kind, clear। Now let us consider the next example, f x is equal to 2x plus 3, 3x minus 1, if x is less than 1, if x is greater than equal to। देखिए दोनों इक्वेशन मुझे दिए, f1 is defining this, I want to discuss the discontinuity, ठीक है। ये देखिए this is point 1, ये so here your fx is 2x plus 3 and here your fx is 3x minus 1। Can you say me what does this represent, 2x plus 3? Abhay, tell me what does this represent, 2x plus 3? ये
Your
क्या?
fx की left limit at point 1।
No, geometrically what does it represent, 2x plus 3? It is circle, is it
अच्छा,
circle?
no sir, is it it is line, straight line।
Yes, this is the equation of line. Similarly this is the equation of line. Can you now say me what does this represent?
Straight line।
Line. Now can you say, can you tell me the angle between this straight line with positive x-axis? So what is the angle?
90।
90? No. What is the slope of this line?
One।
1. If you compare this line mx plus c with mx plus c, and m is 1 and c is 2, so the slope of this line is 1. So value of tan theta is 1, where theta is the angle between positive x-axis and that line. So tan theta is 1. So for which value of tan theta is 1 between 0 to 2 pi?
45.
45.
Yes, pi by 4. So the angle between positive x-axis and this line is just 45 or pi by 4. What is y-intercept? 2. Can you say me what does this represent? 2x.
Line.
Line. Fine. So this is special type of line. Can you say me? If you draw a graph of this, this is just for your understanding. Okay? ये बेसिक चीज है, you should know. See, this is point 2. See, if your x, this is 1 and this is 2. So what is the coordinate of this point? If you take x equal to 2, then this point is nothing but, if you put x equal to 2, y is 4. This point is 2 to 4. So if your x is less than 2, so in this portion, if your x is in this portion, graph of the function is this. Can you understand? Do you understand this, Abhay?
Yes, sir.
Now, if your x is greater than 2, 2 से बड़ा है तो ग्राफ क्या होगा? 2x. 2x का पोर्शन, तो 2x रिप्रेजेंट्स लाइन. और ये देखिए, ये कहाँ से पास होगी? 2 4 में से पास होगी. इफ यू टेक x इक्वल टू 2, y इक्वल टू 4. यस, लाइन पास थ्रू. ये है ना ड्रॉ करते हैं. समझ में आ रहा है ये? तो देखिए, your x, if your x is bigger than 2, यहाँ पे पोर्शन क्या है ग्राफ का? ये, तो ये समझ में आ रहा है? If your x is less than 2, then you need to take fx equal to x plus 2. और अगर x 2 से बड़ा है तो fx की वैल्यू कितनी है? हाँ भाई,
हाँ सर.
तो ये पूरा ग्राफ हुआ आपका.
हाँ.
ये जो है ना, ये पोर्शन और दूसरा वाला ये पोर्शन. क्लियर? तो ग्राफ कैसे होता है? ऐसे.
Yes, sir.
यहाँ पे कॉर्नर हो रहा है, यहाँ पे ही प्रॉब्लम कर रहा है. देखो डिसकंटिन्यूटी. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? मैथमेटिक्स में ये सब कुछ फंक्शन दिया था, तो ऐसे हिसाब से भी आपको सोचना चाहिए कि कैन आई ड्रॉ अ ग्राफ, व्हाट डज दिस रिप्रेजेंट. ठीक है? ये आपको देखिए कितना, आप जो 12th में पढ़े थे ना लाइन, वो
हाँ
रिकॉल हो
सर।
गया कि नहीं हो गया पूरा का पूरा?
हाँ हो रहा
हाँ
है।
सर।
दूसरी चीज, ऑपरेशंस रिसर्च में यू आर नाउ स्टडीइंग एलपीपी, लिनियर प्रोग्रामिंग प्रॉब्लम। ओके, so suppose you have given one LPP, and let us assume that that LPP contains only two variable x and y. Okay, then you can solve that LPP by graphical method. So if you want to solve LPP by graphical method, first of all you need to draw uh, all the constraints in the graph paper. The constraints are linear equation, that is they are equations of just lines only. Okay, तो आपको लाइन ड्रॉ करनी पड़ती है ग्राफ पेपर पे, ठीक है। और बाद में ऑब्जेक्टिव फंक्शन दिया होता है, तो आपको कहाँ पे मिलती है मैक्सिमम और मिनिमम वैल्यू विजिबल रीजन में। समझ पता है कि नहीं है? ऐसा कुछ मैं नया नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, आ रहा है कि नहीं मैथमेटिकल प्रोग्रामिंग आपको इस सेमेस्टर?
हाँ सर आ रहा है।
हाँ, ये कुछ मैं, आपने सुना तो है ना ये सब?
हाँ सर सुना है।
हाँ हाँ, प्लीज हाँ बोलना, क्योंकि एग्जाम में आता है। तकलीफ वही है यार। तो ये ग्राफिकल मेथड से आप सॉल्व करते हैं एलपीपी, तो उसमें भी आपको ये सब आता है, ठीक है। तो ये देखिए, हमें तो ये एग्जांपल डिस्कस करना था और मैं कहाँ पे आ गया। तो आप उसी हिसाब से आप ये लाइन ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं, ठीक है भाई। तो अभी मैं ये लाइन ड्रॉ नहीं करूंगा, वो आप होमवर्क में कीजिएगा। आपको जो आनंद लेना है वो होमवर्क में ले लीजिए। अभी तो हम उसकी डिसकंटिन्यूटी या कंटिन्यू जो भी है वो चेक कर लेंगे। देखिए, इफ योर एक्स इज स्मॉलर देन 1, x is less than 1, then what is fx? Which is continuous, क्योंकि उसका डेरिवेटिव भी आप फाइंड कर सकते हैं। डेरिवेटिव क्या है उसका? 2। Every differentiable function is continuous. If x is greater than 1, then what is fx? 3x minus 1. At x equal to 1, what is f of 1? f of 1 यहाँ से निकलेगा क्या आएगा? 3 into 1 minus 1, that is 2. x tends to 1 plus, ये देखिए fx, x टेंस टू 1 प्लस, तो x की वैल्यू 1 से बड़ी होती है, तो फंक्शन की वैल्यू क्या है? 3x माइनस 1, 3 माइनस 1 दैट इज 2। ये हम लेफ्ट लिमिट फाइंड करते हैं। x tends to 1 minus means x less than 1. So what is value of fx? 2x plus 3. So you will get answer as, यहाँ पे देखिए क्या आ रहा है, ये दोनों एग्जिस्ट हो रहे हैं। Here limit x tends to 1 plus fx is not equal to, both exist. Limit x tends to 1 minus, but limit x tends to 1 plus fx not equal to limit x tends to, तो ये दोनों सेम नहीं है, दोनों एग्जिस्ट कर रहे हैं। f इज डिसकंटिन्यूअस, ये कैसी डिसकंटिन्यूटी है? जंप डिसकंटिन्यूटी। देखिए दोनों एग्जिस्ट कर रहे हैं लेकिन दोनों सेम नहीं है। एफ ऑफ ए प्लस नॉट इक्वल टू एफ ऑफ ए माइनस, दैट इज जंप डिसकंटिन्यूटी टाइप 1 और फर्स्ट टाइम। ठीक है, ये एग्जाम्पल बाद में मैं आपको ये देता हूँ। So we stop our discussion. Okay. Next time we will discuss some different type of examples of discontinuous function. So this is about types of discontinuity. So this is an important topic. There is one practical from this portion also. Okay. So we stop our discussion by here.